Have you ever stopped to think about the cosmic balance sheet of your own life? You know, the good deeds, the bad deeds? Well, the ancient Indian texts, the Puranas, are way more than just old stories. They're actually incredible guides to morality, to ethics, and to the very nature of our actions. So let's dive into this deep and absolutely fascinating world together. So here's the big question, right? Do we face the consequences of our actions in this life? Or is there something more? The Puranas jump right into this. They paint a picture of a universe governed by karma, where every single action creates a ripple, weaving this complex web of cause and effect that can stretch across lifetimes. Okay, so how does this whole cosmic accounting system really work? Well, the Puranas actually lay out a super detailed framework, and it all starts with defining what exactly goes on the negative side of the ledger. That negative entry is called Paap, or sin. But it's not just about breaking some rule from a book. Think of it more as an act that goes against the natural order of the universe, what's known as Dharma. It's like throwing a wrench in the gears of the cosmos. And according to these texts, when you do that, suffering isn't some divine punishment. It's just the natural, inevitable result. Now, this is where things get really intense. The Puranas, especially texts like the Markandeya Purana, do not hold back when describing what that suffering looks like. The visions of Naraka, or hell, are incredibly graphic. They were meant to be a powerful warning against straying from the right path. So brace yourselves. What's just wild about this imagery is how direct the consequences. The punishment is designed to literally mirror the sin. In this case, the very body that was used to do wrong becomes the instrument of its own torture. It's a truly horrifying and visceral idea, isn't it? And it gets even more extreme. Here we see another one of the torments, being boiled in scalding hot oil. It's this terrifying vision of purification through agonizing pain, as if the only way to burn away the karmic stains of a sinful life is through fire, or, well, oil. This one perfectly illustrates the idea of inescapable suffering. It's not a one-time thing, it's an endless, repetitive cycle of agony. You're forced to climb up and down these trees covered in iron thorns. The message couldn't be clearer. The consequences for abandoning Dharma are severe and they are relentless. Okay, after those incredibly grim descriptions, you're probably thinking this system sounds completely unforgiving. But that's only half the story. And this is the most important part. The Puranas are just as focused on the way out. They teach that no soul is ever truly or permanently lost. So is there hope? Absolutely. In fact, hope is totally central to the Puranic worldview. The very same texts that give us these terrifying details of Naraka also serve as meticulous, detailed roadmaps to redemption. You see, it's a complete moral universe. It doesn't just show you the problem, it gives you the solution. It's not a system built on eternal damnation. It's a system of education, of learning, and ultimately of liberation, or what's known as moksha. So, the big question is, how do you do it? How do you get back on the right path? The texts outline several very clear and distinct paths you can take to wipe your karmic slate clean and atone for your mistakes. Here are the 5 main ones. As you can see, they cover a whole range of approaches, from purely internal states, like devotion, to very real-world actions, like going on a pilgrimage or practicing charity. Each one is a tool you can use to realign yourself with that cosmic order. Let's start with Bhakti, the path of devotion. This is maybe the most accessible one for many people, because it's not about complicated rituals. It's about a sincere, pure turning of your heart towards the divine. The Narada Purana says that this kind of devotion has the power to literally incinerate lifetimes of negative karma. Next up is tirtha, or pilgrimage. The idea that certain places hold a special spiritual power is a huge theme. For instance, the Matsya Purana talks a lot about the Narmada River. It says that just bathing in its sacred waters, or even choosing to end one's life on the holy Amarkantak mountain where the river begins, can wash away all your sins and grant you access to Rudraloka, the realm of Shiva himself. It's a beautiful idea. The physical journey reflects the internal journey back to righteousness. Then you have vratas, which are basically discipline vows. There's a clear structure here. First, you make a firm decision, a resolve. This is often followed by fasting. Then you perform worship, and, this is key, you practice self-control. It's a powerful method for using discipline to purify your mind, your body, and your soul. And here we have the great cosmic balancing act. Just like Paap creates negative karma, acts of Punya, or merit, create positive karma. And one of the highest forms of Punya is considered to be Dan, selfless charity and giving. It's the perfect antidote to the selfishness that's so often at the heart of sinful actions. This quote from the Narada Purana, wow, it just perfectly captures the whole message of hope. It tells us that no matter how far you've strayed, one single, sincere moment of turning back towards the divine, towards what's right, holds an absolutely immense power. So, we've walked through this ancient framework of action, consequence, and redemption. After all that, what's the big takeaway for us, living in the world we live in today? I mean, what can these ideas, thousands of years old, really teach us? Maybe the point isn't about believing in literal fiery pits or thorny trees. Maybe it's all a timeless metaphor, that our actions have consequences, and that we create our own personal heaven or hell right here on Earth, every single day. And, most importantly, that the path of hope, through kindness, through devotion, through discipline, and through selfless action, is always, always available to us. What do you think?